Welcome to our exploration of Arenis elo, commonly known as the elo sphinx, moth or caterpillar. While fascinatingly beautiful to look at, Arenis elo can be a major pest in agriculture. Arenis elo belongs to the family Sphingidae. Did you know that Arenis elo caterpillars exhibit fascinating mimicry and camouflage? Their varied appearances help them blend into their surroundings, making it harder for predators to spot them. Additionally, their rapid growth and ability to change appearances are truly remarkable.
What we have here is a typical issue of caterpillar outbreak. This caterpillar is known as the cassava caterpillar. Usually, when you have caterpillar outbreak, in particular in cassava, they come in large numbers, by the millions. And if there's a large extent of cassava cultivation, they tend to attack the majority of the plants on that estate. Here we encounter at Craig, Hope and Fellowship on these banks, we have a large area here cultivated with cassava. And the caterpillar outbreak would have caused significant damage to many of these plants. If you notice, the caterpillar feeds on the leaves, and in even some cases, it feeds on the young shoot or any other soft part of the plant. By defoliating the plant wouldn't be able to realize photosynthesis. In the absence of photosynthesis, the cassava tubers would not be able to develop. Therefore, the plant would deem not good for production purposes.
Known for their streamlined bodies and swift flight, their abdomen has very distinct gray and black bands. The upper side of the female forewing is pale gray with a few dark dots near the outer margin. The upper side of the male forewing is dark gray and brown, with a black band running from the base to the tip. In both sexes, the hind wing upper side is orange with a wide black border, a wingspan ranging from 75 to 95 millimeters. These moths are a sight to behold in the night sky. The moths develop through 4 life stages: eggs, larvae, pupa, and adult. The life cycle begins with the female moth laying eggs on the leaves of the cassava plant. Once hatched, the larvae or caterpillars start their voracious feeding. The larval stage lasts about 2 to 3 weeks depending on temperature, environmental conditions, and availability of food. When matured, most larvae drop or walk down the plant to pupate on or in soil. From egg to adult, the entire development cycle typically takes approximately 4 to 6 weeks under tropical conditions. Arenis elo is found across a wide range from the southern United States through Central America and deep into South America. They thrive in various habitats including forests and agricultural areas, especially those areas that practice monoculture plantations. The larvae feed on several plants, particularly cassava, earning them the nickname cassava caterpillar. They are also known to feed on papaya and other members of Euphorbiaceae family. Heavy infestations can lead to significant crop loss, particularly in cassava and papaya fields. Various management strategies can be employed.
What we'll have to do in this case, we'll have to monitor. Monitoring is very important. If you come and you check on your plot and you notice, if you don't have good eye and you didn't notice the eggs, but from the time you start seeing leaves that are being defoliated, it is important that you immediately use a contact insecticide. Because caterpillars are soft body, most contact insecticide would kill them. You use a contact insecticide at the rate recommended by the manufacturer, and with a mist blower, you can be able to control them. Many times the outbreak don't start on the entire plot, it might start in specific areas, and you can just treat them in that specific area, but you keep monitoring the other parts of the plot. Furthermore, after you finish treating, you need to continuously monitor. If you look and see any loose part of the soil, you can uproot those areas. And if you notice a brownish to about 1.5 to about 2 inches long organism, probably the size of your small finger or a bit smaller, that is the pooper for the insect. That pooper would lend to another generation of the pest. Therefore, you need to be very much aware of what is happening and continuously monitor so that you can treat as soon as the pest outbreak comes again. So as we continue to think about management, as I mentioned, the pupa may be in the soil. It's important to understand when that pupa is in that stage in that soil, there is nothing you can do about it. It isn't feeding and it's in a hard protected shell. Therefore, any chemical you apply would just be a waste of time and money. I therefore advise you that the only thing you can do at that stage is to physically remove that pupa. But then for you to find all those pupa, you would need to go and check all the soils all around. You might be disturbing the plant root. So it is not advisable to try to manage the pest at that stage. The best stage to manage is in the larval stage. That is when the insect feeds, the body does not have the kind of protection that protects it from the chemicals. It's a soft body insect, and therefore any contact insecticide would kill it. Furthermore, I advise farmers not to just go and spray the plants if you don't see the insect. This insect appears seasonal and it doesn't appear every season. At the start of the rain season you can find it, but sometimes it doesn't appear in 10 years. So there is no point in just spraying to think that you're going to protect the plant. You only spray if you see the insect. What is more important is monitoring, because your monitoring program that you have, and I advise you, your monitoring should be done at least every other day. Your monitoring program that you have is what will tell you if you need to use any chemicals or not. It's important that when monitoring for the caterpillar, if you notice the caterpillars today, it's important to treat today. These caterpillars are voracious feeders, and in 24 hours, they can wipe out an entire acre of cassava cultivation. Like I mentioned before, most contact insecticides can work to manage this caterpillar. I would advise that you use, we have a number of them available locally, and off the top of my head I can call things like Fastac, Tengard, among many others. But the important thing is, as soon as you identify the pest, to treat it. The thing about cassava caterpillar is that if it's in an area where there are other cassava farmers and you observe it in your plot, you can be assured that the caterpillar would affect the other farmers. What you do? Immediately, you should inform your local extension officer and the other farmers in the area. Simply because if you wait, within a day or two, everybody can lose their crop. By informing the local extension officer, that officer would be able to, if possible, render any assistance. Furthermore, that officer would be able to reach the other farmers as well to properly advise them on how to manage the pests in an expeditious manner.
Important takeaways in the management of the cassava caterpillar is to monitor your crop for the presence of the pest. Once its presence is detected, spray the appropriate insecticide at the recommended rate immediately. Report your findings to the nearest extension officer in your area so that other cassava farmers could be informed and take the necessary steps. Remember that the pest is only vulnerable during its feeding stage and cannot be affected by chemicals during its pupal stage.
Remember, time is of the essence.
For more information on the management of the caterpillar in cassava cultivation, contact the nearest extension officer in your area.